Hey there, we'll be looking at five games this week, and without further ado, here we go. We're going to start with Asteroids Chasers this time, and this is a pretty cool game. It's a puzzle game, and it's a free game, and it's complete, not like some of the other games you're going to see in this particular video. But here you see, basically it's a puzzle game where you place random tiles. You're getting dealt random tiles. The red highlight or the green highlight there is my cursor, and you're placing different items. Now those are enemy ships, the big ones that look like a W. The blue ships are my ships, the good ships you want to place. That is a mine, and you've got to get rid of them. The circle thing with a red on it is a mine. If you get 3 of them on the board that you don't take care of, you die. And the other things are asteroids, and they're for points. The basic goal is to surround something like I just did there. I put 4 ships around the mine and deactivated it. The problem is the W's, the ships, the enemy ships, will negate the power of anything touching them horizontally or vertically. Diagonal does not count in this game. So that's why you see me placing a lot of diagonal tiles. So the goal is to get dealt random tiles, go through all your tiles before you run out. They're called cards there. You see I have 9 cards left. And get the highest score you can before running out of cards. And again, if you get 3 mines, the circle with the red interior, then you lose. You have to deactivate them before you get 3 active mines, or you just lose the game prematurely. I'm not sure if the cards are dealt completely randomly, or if there's a given number per round that you get. It feels pretty random to me. But this is a really fun game, and it's got a lot of replay value because it's a basic puzzle game. And it has achievements. Look, there you see it. I got an achievement, and supposedly it saves the achievements, even though I'm using a flash cart. Supposedly it saves them, and I come back to the game and continue to unlock things, because it has unlockable backgrounds, very progressive for a homebrew game, and unlockable soundtracks. So that's pretty awesome, right? A lot more than you see in a lot of homebrew games. This is nearly finished project. And you see there's locked items and different screens and different backgrounds, and I think even different modes I can unlock. Especially interested in the sound effects that I'm going to try and come back and do a little bit more with this game and unlock some of these other neat tunes that you can play while you're doing the puzzle game. Overall, I really enjoy this one. It's got a lot of replay value. So in a moment here, you're going to see the score come up that I'm giving this one. I found this really cool. Gets decent graphics, they do the job. The sound effects, not much to say about that, but the music is really good. I nearly gave it a perfect score because it's got different soundtracks. Controls are perfectly functional, and the replay value is as high as it gets because it's a puzzle game and it's fun. So that is Asteroids Chasers. Check it out for yourself. Next up is 8-Bit Goblin, and this is another weird one. This is a tech demo. And this person who made this 8-bit dude has another one in this video you're going to see coming up. But what this is a really interesting tech demo of the adventure point-and-click style of game. And, you hear the music there. It does have a cool little, loopy soundtrack. It doesn't really morph that much, so I only included a snippet of it here because it does get a little old after a minute or two. But as you can see, this is kind of, your LucasArts style, Sierra Games style point-and-click adventure. I played a lot of these kind of games as a kid, and I really wish this was a full game because I think I'd have a lot of fun playing something like this on Lynx, especially really like the style of the graphics and the detail that are put into this single screen. And spoiler alert, that's all there is to this demo. There's this one screen with a few interactable objects, and a couple characters and a couple items you can carry in your inventory, and a couple lines of dialogue. That's it. The overview on Atari Gamer tells us that this is a tech demo of 8-bit Unity, a cross-platform C language for 8-bit computers, which allows you to write a game and deploy it to different 8-bit platforms, apparently. I'm no expert on that, but that's really cool. And this is definitely a proof of concept. See, the tech demo is already over, and so we're going to jump to the score, and it's hard to rate it because it is a tech demo. But the graphics are great. The music is nice, although it's, incomplete, just a demonstration of music and sound effects. I don't even know if there are any, but give it a 2 because I think it has a couple clicks and boops. The controls work fine. They're a little glitchy because it is a proof of concept. And I don't know how much I'm going to go back to this one. But that's, it's a demo. And I don't regret my time spent with it. It really shows potential for adventure games on Atari Lynx. Okay, up next is another demo. This is called 8-Bit Grubs. And I do believe this is probably by the same 8-bit dude that made the last demo we just looked at. Again, debated about putting it in. Yep, see, there you go, 8-bit dudes. I remembered correctly. According to some of the notes on Atari Gamer, this is a demo of an 8-bit Unity engine that demonstrates how a cross-platform C language for 8-bit computers that could allow people to write a game and deploy it onto different platforms. So again, it's a demo, and it is a demo of a classic kind of game called Artillery, where you basically use angles to shoot small projectiles and attack the other worms. So I won't spend too much time on this one. The video is going to speed up greatly in a second, just to kind of give you a look at it. But ostensibly the idea here would be there'd be 4 players, maybe some CPU players, maybe human players, where you'd be taking turns trying to hit each other. I used to play a game like this on my Apple way back when I was a kid, some kind of clone of the idea of Artillery, where you have to shoot a projectile over a mountain and hit the other player using precise calculations, trying to get the exact right trajectory. Pretty rudimentary by today's standards of gaming, but I have to admit, pretty entertaining. There you see I got a hit, killed one of the worms, and I think I play it through here, and the game is clearly just a demo, because even if you chop away significant portions of the landscape, the game just still goes on and doesn't really have much an effect. You're basically just like chipping away at each other's HP until somebody dies. And then I believe when you finish and kill everyone but one remaining worm, nothing even happens. So, and look, the water is apparently... I killed myself down there in the water, made a hole in the water, sort of lemming style chip effects there. So here you see me just like getting tired of it and see I won. And Joe's still alive, but nothing even happened. So there's the score. Again, tech demo, so it gets a little bit of a weird review because the replay value is just very minimal. After messing around with it twice, will I ever go back to it? Hard to say. But it controls well. Not much to say about the music or sound effects, and the graphics are decent, for a one-screen game. So that's the score. You saw it all here, but if you want to mess with it yourself, again, try it out. Okay, this one I admit, I was excited to try this one out. I am not even an Alien huge fan. I like the first movie, and contrary to popular opinion, I don't really love Aliens, the sequel. We can argue about that online if you want to drop me a comment. But long story short, is that I really just, these aren't exactly my kind of movies. I do like action movies. I do like semi-horror movies. But I had a feeling that like a game with a license like this on Lynx might be something interesting. And it does turn out to be very interesting. But what this actually is an unfinished official game that's been put onto the internet. So, here you even see it. You're like, wait, is this game a real game? And I somehow got this in my homebrew files. But apparently it was a canceled video game, and prototypes in various stages of finished completion circulate on the internet. So, of course, I'm going to pick the Alien first here. You see, you get to pick. You can play as a human, Ripley, most likely, I'm assuming, or you can play as Alien. I don't know what his name is, but, and here you see me. I've got some kind of prod. And it's a first-person, action game, something like akin to Doom or Quake. Probably, very, very much an homage to the Doom style of gaming. And so part of the reason I started to realize when I was playing this, not really knowing what I was playing, that it isn't finished, is you really, really can't attack the human enemies you see very well. They sort of seem to die. You'll see me get a couple so-called kills in here, and you see me picking things up, but it's hard to tell what's happening. Now, it is partially finished because the menu system works very well. You press the one of the option keys, I think, on your Lynx, and you jump into an option screen, and there's a map. You can change weapons when you acquire different weapons. Do have somewhat different application, although, again, killing stuff actually doesn't work. And the mapping system's fully functional in a 2D above above the player mapping environment, it works well. But the game does fall apart pretty quickly under scrutiny. So you see me, this is very sped up here, so it's even worse than it really looks in real life. But you kind of quickly realize, like, you aren't really killing the enemies. They kind of like fall down and you mow them out of your way, but you never take damage, or you never seem to take significant damage. I never died. I never seemed to be really encountering any other resistance other than getting lost in the maze and having to check my map every couple seconds, as you can see here. So I'm going to cut the tape here in a second, because I played this game for quite a while trying to figure it out, and you can advance through levels, but it was almost hard to tell you what you were doing, and when you were finding items, it was hard to kind of tell. Again, it's an unfinished game, but wow, what promise this had, and this probably could have been something a lot better than it ended up being if somebody would have given it the full love it deserves. Not much more to say than other than that. It's easy to get lost. I found myself checking the map every couple seconds, because even though I am fairly good at finding my way through 2D or 3D spaces without having to look at a map constantly and keeping my orientation, it was tough because the backgrounds are so similar. Here I have some kind of disc weapon. It doesn't work very well. It's like you kind of like throw it at other characters, but since deaths don't really register, it's just kind of a joke. Yeah, so you see me kind of frisbee hitting that enemy soldier there. And here you see, I'm going to just show you Ripley really quick, but it's pretty much more of the same. Again, ambitious. You can play as Alien or you can play as Ripley. And now we're back at regular speed here. But again, it's not that different. You have a gun now and slightly different weapons. But again, it's not finished. I'm still shooting humans for some reason. I'm not quite sure why Ripley would be doing that. So here's the score. Graphics, amazing. Sound effects, decent. Music, pretty decent. A little repetitive. Controls work pretty well, even though it's an unfinished game. But the replay value suffers here because, you know, prototype / unfinished game and cancel game. And so I can't say I'm going to be going back to this too often. But that's what you get when you do the homebrew scene. So, all right, and finally for this episode, it's Assembloids. And I'm going to spoil it and say this is my favorite of the batch this time. Again, it's another puzzle game, and when you look this one up on Atari Gamer, which is where I found out about it, it seems like comments from the director say they find that the strengths of the Link include quick mobile games without much overhead that are something you can pass around to friends and family to compete in, aka a puzzle game. Great graphics, great music right out the bat. This is something I'd almost pay for. This game is really well polished, and it's a simple concept once you see me start playing, but it's really fun. And I probably spent the most time with it. The Asteroids game, probably runner-up in how much time I spent with the game here. So there's how to play. You basically put faces together. You get more points for a complete face. You know, and you get less points if the face is messed up and made of the wrong kind of parts. Now, see, we'll see me start playing in a second. You have a center play field where the pieces are going to appear, and you have 4 side cubes where you're going to drop the pieces and you're going to be trying to make faces. I just thought this was neat, so I kept it in the video. It's really cute, kind of classic game design where we have, you know, the developers, the programmers putting themselves into the game. So there you see the piece drop into the center, and it's going to be one of the 4 quadrants of a face. And you have to pick which of the side panels you put it into, up, down, left, or right. So you see me making a pig on the left and a wolf on the right. I'm trying to get as much of a complete face put together as I can. It's always going to give you a piece that you have a spot to put it. So you think, oh, that's easy. Oh, I got a full face. I was able to make a full pig before I filled up any of my cues. And you see the outer ring getting faster and faster, and you see that red ring track running around the center face. That is the timer, and it gets faster and faster the longer the game goes on. So you have to make a decision faster. And this seems really easy when you're just watching it, but it's actually hard, especially if you start to get hung up on trying to make complete faces, or as complete as possible, because you're trying to shuffle things from one cube to another. Now, once you put a piece of a face into one of the side panels or the top or bottom panel, you can't remove it. All you can ever do is move a piece from the center to the edge. Complete a face, get some points, move on. Once you complete a face, as you can see, it empties out the queue on that particular region, and you get more space to store pieces. And this goes on. You see I have 6 lives, and every time, I don't think I've lost a life, and there you go. Time ran out, so I lost a life. I did not move a piece out of the center into one of the side quadrants or the top or bottom quadrant before the time ran out, before the ring track fills up red. So you have to be making decisions very quickly. And it's surprisingly tense once you start playing. You have to be picking, where am I putting this? Where am I putting this piece? Where am I putting this piece? And as you can see, you've got to move a piece. If I have an upper left piece of a face, I've got to move it to an empty upper left section. You can't move it into a face where it won't fit in terms of orientation. Simple concept. I don't know if this was taken or imitating any other game. I've never played a game like it that I can think of. So I don't know if it's fully original. But it struck me as fully original, and I really enjoy it. I easily going to put this one in my folder of games to come back to, which I have a feeling the more I mess around with the homebrew scene, it's going to be more and more of the puzzle type of games. So in a moment, I'm just going to speed up the video and play it through so you can see the end of the game. So it's going to get extremely rapid in a moment. So this is not the speed the game runs at. So in fact, it's probably skipping frames enough that you're not even seeing faces be completed here. But yeah, Assembloids. I really like it. I think this game is one of the best I've come across so far, in fact, in the homebrew scene. So there you have it. Great. I thought the graphics are pretty good. I thought sound effects are pretty decent. I have a hard time rating sound effects, I'll be honest. Music, I'm much better. I really like the music on this one. I thought it's just kind of rockin', cool track. So I'm giving it high marks. I just like the game. Controls work perfectly fine for what it is, and the replay value is as good as it gets. So there's my score, and definitely picking this one for probably my game of the 5 I tried out this time. So there you have it. 5 more of the homebrew demos / incomplete / prototype scene for Atari Lynx. As I said in the video, Assembloids was my clear winner this week, with Asteroids Chasers being not too far distant runner-up for things that I think are actually good games that you'd want to play. Alien vs. Predator then being something that's like kind of a wishful, wish it was good. You can see there, that's, I believe, the official cover art, or that may have been discovered, that was, leaked or is discovered, that was a canceled game. And the other 2 games, 8-Bit Grubs and 8-Bit Goblin, are both tech demos, and not really fair to compare to the rest of the games in this series this week. But definitely check out Assembloids, and I would also grab Asteroids Chasers and add it to your collection if puzzle games are at all your bag for Atari Lynx. With that, I'll be putting out another one of these videos eventually. I do appreciate comments and love discussion about video games, so feel free to comment. Don't feel the need to subscribe. Why would you want to do that? Thanks. Later.